So he goes to him and says, like, work out a deal. He'll plead guilty to every murder he's committed if you'll give him life with no parole. He'll tell you what happened to the victims and how he killed them and how he disposed of their bodies. So at that point, it became a decision for the prosecutor's office, basically. Do they want to take this? Do they need to talk to the families of the ones that we had identified up to that point and find out, are they willing to go along with it? Or are they going to fight this thing?
I would imagine Paul Howell, Jerry Howell's dad, would not go along with that because he had already attacked Berdella in a court hearing, didn't he?
He attacked him at the arraignment.
At the arraignment.
Yeah. He was going to kill him. He took a gun. He had a pistol. And he went over to the courthouse on the morning of the arraignment. And to his surprise, there was a
metal detector
set up. And
they were kind of new back then.
It was new. Huh. And he didn't expect that. So he went back to his car and put the gun in his car. Then he walked into the courtroom and immediately jumped over the rail and started beating him up. And no, he was not. He was not for the plea. But as it turned out, Pat Hall and the other attorneys, they had to decide whether or not to accept this.
I suppose Albert Reeder, he was the prosecutor at the time.
Obviously, his
final decision because it was a politically kind of.
They were getting ready to have the election.
Sensitive decision, and everybody wanted to see Bob Berdella fry.
And the election was within a few weeks.
Oh, really?
So,
interesting, all these different things that figure into it.
Because Carol Cole was running against him.
Oh, yeah, Carol Cole got into this
Carol
somehow.
got into it. She got on TV and said he's turning this into a political ploy. And she was, she injected a lot that added fuel to the fire, so to speak.
The politics of it all. But so, here you are in a situation where what you really know you have is a couple, 2 murders and a sodomy, where that's. And when Bob says, "Hey, I'm willing to come forward and confess," do you think he knew that you didn't have more information, or do you think he thought maybe these guys might have all these guys' names?
No, he knew that we were getting close because his attorney was presenting him with the police reports, so he was able to kind of keep up with the investion for the most part.
Yeah, like defense has a discovery element there too, so they get to see everything that you guys.
I think he was aware that we were really getting close to being
closing
able to,
in. You had the 7 journals at that point.
Yeah, and the reason that we knew that we were starting to put together through the torture logs. Jerry Howell, because Jerry Howell had disappeared on July the 4th. Well, one of the torture logs had the name Howell written at the top of it, and 7/4 of 84.
Oh, wow.
A date. Yeah. And then he starts describing the torture and what he had done to him. So we we assumed pretty strongly that he was dead. And then we found another torture log for Ferris with similar notations, and the dates corresponded to the dates he had disappeared. So we were able to feel pretty confident that that's 2 more victims that we knew of. But we didn't know about any more. Those were the only torture logs that we could link to people at that point.
But the prosecutor was getting, the defense attorney was getting all that information as you guys turned it in to the prosecutor's office.
Right.
So that was putting pressure on him big time, wasn't it?
So I think he must have really had a fear of the death penalty in order to.
It seems like he tried that other little legal ploy. You think? I don't think the lawyer. I bet he forced the lawyers to. I bet he told them, the client is the boss.
It was his idea. Yeah, I don't think.
And
it was
I bet he told
those
lawyers, I'm going to. Here's my little ploy. I think I'm. He's one of these guys that thought he was smarter than everybody, didn't he?
He did. He looked down upon everybody.
Yeah.
He thought he was the cat's meow.
So he thought, well, I'll just go in there and plead guilty, and they'll just all go away, and I'll go down and start serving my life in the penitentiary.
Well, a normal life sentence on a murder case isn't actually life, is it?
Well, this was life with no parole that he was willing to plead to, though.
Not initially, though, when he said, I'm guilty.
Initially he was willing to plead to life with no parole.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So there still was no getting out.
Right. He knew he was going to slip. Yeah, he knew he would never get out of prison, but he was just so fearful of the death penalty that he was obviously willing to do it.
Although where there's life, there's always hope. He didn't know. Something might change.
Yeah.
They could change the laws somehow, and he might get a shot to get out. So none of them he didn't like snatch any of them off the street
He didn't know. They all went to his house willingly.
Yes. And most of them he knew for some period of time. I remember reading one of them done yard work around his house for
Yep.
a while.
Yeah, he knew Mark Wallace. That was the one that had done a little yard work. He knew him the least.
Now, so you're sitting there in basically in your room. You're still at the Berdella squad location,
Right.
and Bob basically comes. He's been in court. He said, "Hey, I'm guilty," and now he wants to come forward with a confession.
Yes.
What kind of discussion was there high-ranking levels on the police department? I know that had to go at least up to Colonel Jenkins to
Yeah.
make that decision. Do we go along with this? What do we say about this?
It did. And Colonel Jenkins, he let me voice my opinion, and I'm sure the chief was probably involved too.
Oh, yeah.
But I know Colonel Jenkins and I talked about it, and we were both in favor of it, because how much better can you get than life with no parole and finding out what you don't know? You got this big investigation going, but you may never know what happened to 3 or 4 or 5 of these people at this point.
And they've got family out there. Many
Yeah.
times family, they just want to know what happened.
Yeah. And we wondered, what did he do with the other bodies? If we got, a head in the closet, a head in the backyard, where's the rest of them? So, yeah, there was a lot we wanted to find out, and the only way to do it was to accept his plea, and eventually that's what we did.
And so what was their reasoning for accepting the plea? Did you remember the reasoning that they gave or that they
I think the
used?
same. I think the
thing?
same reasoning. I think they felt like we're never going to know unless he tells us. I mean, we might be able to get a conviction on these 2 murder charges that we're going to hit him with, but we didn't have. It wasn't a strong case. We still didn't have a cause of death.
You didn't have a cause of death. You didn't have any scientific evidence to link Berdella's hand to their death.
We couldn't.
No witnesses.
We couldn't
No
say
witnesses.
that they didn't die of natural causes, and then he cuts their heads off.
He did something with their bodies. Yeah.
So it
they
wasn't
took a drug overdose, for
Yeah.
example. It'd be easy to he could come up with some other little street hustler witness
Right.
that would say, "Oh yeah, they overdosed with drugs, and then
Yep.
I helped him cut them up." I mean, you never
So
know
it
what's
wasn't
going
a
to
slam
happen.
dunk case, and I think that's one of the reasons we were kind of all in favor. Let's go. Plus, if we'd had a trial, they had already determined that we were going to have to get a change of venue, and it was just going to be a nightmare type of trial.
Yeah.
It's just too
So-
widely publicized.
Yeah, we were all in favor, I think, of accepting his plea.
I think I read in your book that Albert Reeder told Jackman probably that when he questioned him about it, that he knew Paul Howell was not going to like it, but he said, "I just have to deal with that."
yeah. He dealt with. He had to deal with Paul 2 or 3 times, I think.
I bet he did. I bet he had. I bet.
So did I.
Did you?
Yeah.
It was
He
on
came
your
to
case.
see me more than once.
Did he? Even after he accepted the plea, he didn't come back around after that.
No, during the investigation was. when
Oh
I-
yeah,
when I
I'm
dealt
sure he
with
did.
it.
I know he had a huge interest in it. He'd already been around.
And who wouldn't? I mean,
Yeah,
if
who
I'd have been
wouldn't,
in
yeah.
his shoes, I'd have been doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So
Now,
didn't blame him at all.
And Bob, in this instance, going to come forward with a confession. Didn't want to just do it there in a police headquarters in a room with you and another officer as witness?
Yeah, how was that set up?
Because that's not how it ended up.
The
right?
way it was agreed upon is Pat Hall and Berrigan, they got together, and Berrigan said, here's one of the stipulations. There's only going to be 1 copy of this transcript made of his confession, and the public defender's office is going to keep it. Well, Pat Hall said, that ain't going to happen. So they wrangled over that, I think, for a day or two, and then it was finally agreed upon that there would be more than that 1 copy made. It was determined by, again, the 2 attorneys that the interrogation would take place in the county jail, and that there would be 2 defense attorneys present, 2 from the prosecutor's office, and 2 from the police department, and that's all. And then a stenographer or a court reporter. So that's how we did it. We had a room up on the 6th floor of the Jackson County Jail, and it was right off the medical unit where Bob was being housed, and we met with him and spent 3 days with him. And
Wow, 3 days.
3 days, 3 long days.
He didn't tape record it.
Did not. It was just a
stenographer.
court reporter took the notes, And it was agreed upon that instead of having a whole bunch of questions going back and forth, that there would only be one person asking the questions, and that we all got together and presented our questions to him prior to sitting down.
Who asked the questions?
Pat Hall did
Pat
all
Hall.
the questioning. And,
But he actually got to review the questions before he answered them.
yes.
Or
Bert-
him
Bert-
and his
you said-
defense
you
attorneys.
mean
The defense attorneys for Bob would actually probably look at you. You would, go through because you had all this voluminous amount of material from the case.
no, the defense
And
attorney
where there was actually kind of holes, and when you're trying to fill in the thing, wouldn't be that be the area where you just say, well, what about Jerry Howell?
defense attorneys didn't. They hardly objected at all. The flow of questioning went really good. It wasn't like a court where I object and hey, my client's not going to. There wasn't any of that. It was all forthcoming with no issues, and the questions were not presented to the defense attorneys ahead of time, to my knowledge. I don't think they were. Can't be sure of that though.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kansas City.